Both my son, they study business courses, and they graduated with a Bachelor of Commerce, both majoring in accounting and finance.
Sarah, she's studying for a Bachelor of Arts, and this is actually her second year, or rather her first year, because she's into second year direct, doing Bachelor of Arts, majoring in sociology and media and comms. Yes.
He is in Bachelor of Science. He's doing the Bachelor of Science and majoring in software systems, and currently he's in his fourth year.
Okay. After she was done with her poly course, we were deciding whether she should do it local or overseas. But because we have lived overseas before, myself having studied overseas and my husband away also working in the States and in Perth, we know that it's good to have that experiential encounter studying abroad.
It was pretty, I would say, smooth sailing because both of us graduated from the Melbourne University as well. So it was pretty much continuing. It's like a little tradition. And then if you look at the city, both my parents also studied in Melbourne. And so, yeah, I guess he just wanted to continue that, tradition that all of us go and do our tertiary education in Australia.
Well, if I can recall, I think the process started since they were very young. My wife and I have always been talking to them about their educational path in the long term. And we make it clear to them that apart from local universities, they are free to look at the opportunity overseas. So naturally, when they finish their high schools in Singapore, they will start to look at all the opportunities available, including local. And they kind of select the university by eliminations, and ultimately they decided on 3 countries to look at. First is the United States, then the United Kingdom, and the third is in Australia. Why do they decide on Australia? I think I give them my thought, and based on my own experience 40 years ago as an overseas student. Basically, to me, I think there are three major criteria to look at. I think the first one is, of course, you go there for education. You've got to be sure that you receive a quality education. So the quality education is one of them. Second to look at is the locality of the place where they're going. The third criteria that I look at is the people. Is the kind of people that you're going to mix with in the community that you live, as well as the student community. Melbourne University offer was the first offer came into my eldest son, John. He got an offer through email, and when he informed me, I was very happy.
When we got news that she was offered the place, of course we were elated, so happy, and so excited.
Happy, a little bit of sadness as well, of course, because he's our firstborn, so he would be leaving the nest. Naturally worried, because then that would mean him looking after himself far away from us.
It was good. Prior to my son attending the university there, as a family, we have visited Melbourne a number of times. So we were kind of quite familiar with the city. And, and you know, the impression of Melbourne as a center of cultural arts and music in Australia, and we always are interested in those areas where you have a city that mixes with diversities, culture, socials, and you know, going to Melbourne is we're very happy that he's able to make it there.
Obviously, our impression of Melbourne University was nothing short of wonderful, because you know it's one of the top, in fact the top uni in Australia, and it's very prestigious and reputable uni to be in, and we were very more than happy to have her there. And of course when we went there, we were very happy with the place.
Melbourne U is in a class of its own, actually. Before I joined Melbourne U in 1993, long time ago, I didn't know much about the university except for the name and the logo, and that's about it. Until the offer came, because the college that I went to do the Australian matriculation in Malaysia, they did all the applications for us. So I got accepted into UNSW, Melbourne U and ANU, and then everybody was like, go to a Melbourne U, you know? And so that started, you know, the perception of like, oh, this must be the top university. Then I started doing my homework, because I wasn't as, I would say, you know, forthcoming with like the students of today. Today, you know, the students really do a lot of research before they get into something. It wasn't the case with me back then, like 20 plus years ago. But right now, I have to say that Melbourne U is very bold and daring, and they are definitely in a class of their own, because the way they have actually innovated their programs and, you know, compressed the number of bachelor degrees that they grant out, and it's all comes under the broad umbrellas of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science. They are very strong academicians there with the university, their research, and I think also their network across the globe with different academic institutions and the research fraternity.
Well, I was happy then, and I'm still happy now, because in terms of the quality of education, Melbourne is consistently ranked as number 1 and number 2 in Australia, and it's quite highly ranked in the world as well.
And that's not the same. It's better, because the impression we have of Melbourne U was so much more personalized when Sarah was there, because you know, in all the process of applying for the timetable, the subjects and everything, we found the Melbourne University, the people working there, they were very helpful. Yeah, and the environment on the whole is very inclusive and very, how do I say, very accommodating. Yeah, so we're very happy that she's there. Yeah. In making the move to Melbourne, the greatest challenge she had was what to bring there. How much to bring and what to pack, and for us, it's more the accommodation that we were very worried about. Yeah, so because we don't have any family there or friends, so it was like going to a completely, how do I say, well, into the unknown. Yeah.
After the 2 boys, I have my youngest daughter, joined the brothers as well in the third year, in their third year. So at one point in time, my wife and I were just living in this so-called empty nest for about a year. But apart from missing them physically at times, we don't really have much of a problem with them overseas all at once. Because, given the technology today, talking to them and seeing their faces is just a click away. So, and we maintain very close communication throughout their stays in Melbourne.
Well, I'm the kind of parent who likes to strike that balance between being a mom and being a friend. So there's that little challenge of getting worried when you're trying to get in touch with your son and he's not answering or he's not even replying with a message to say why he can't pick the call. Also, there were some challenges about getting worried whether he would use his holidays wisely. I mean, like free time, whether he has the right friends. It's all the natural, parenting worries that we had.
I think the biggest issue is safety. My concern was for her safety, not just in terms of whether she'll get into any incidences, but more like her health. So that was her biggest concern, and of course the other things would be if she could adjust and manage her time properly, manage herself. Yeah, but those were just the initial fears.
Another piece of advice that I would really encourage parents to do is to always encourage children their kids to keep an open mindset. Agility and being resilient to change and being adaptable is a very important skill set.
Of course, when she was just there, we went there. We went with Sarah to settle her in, to help her with the bank account and everything. We know where she stays, and I think we kind of gave her the assurance that she can do it, that she's going to be fine, although we ourselves are so nervous. But I think for parents in general, giving your child that confidence that they can do it.
I think the moral support is probably the most important. That's the psychological part of it. You got to let them feel that you are always there for them, so that they have a free mind to focus on what they need to do when they are alone. And we are reachable anytime when they want to talk to us. It's more of a psychological part of it, and I felt that was very important. Both my son John and James, they were committee members of the Singapore Student Society in their second year or so, and through that opportunity of being in the committee, they get to meet a lot of Singaporean students. The committee, I guess, at any point in time, they have about 400 plus minus of student membership. And they organize a lot of events, a lot of activities throughout the year. More importantly, I guess it is the opportunity for them to build connections with people and the networking, for fellow Singaporean students, and make some good friendships. And I can see that since they came back, they have a lot more new friends in Singapore who study together with them in Melbourne. And that's the kind of thing that is important to every young man, is to build friendship, build connectivity, and build up the network.
The other activities that he explored, at Melbourne University were participating in all those clubs. So I know that he was a part of the information security, also computer systems, all these very, very technical clubs. And he was also a part of the debating club. Yeah. And he participated in one of the case competitions, which took him to Sydney, if I'm not mistaken. And recently he completed some internship, which was an online course. So during this coronavirus period that they can't go out, he actually utilized it quite well, where he enrolled himself into an online internship with one of the big 4 accounting firms. So yeah, and he told me that all this access to opportunities are like readily available through student clubs and the union. Yeah.
I have found that she's a more confident person now. I mean, it's only 1 year, but because she's away, she has to really manage pretty much everything by herself. She has to learn to navigate whatever situations that come, and she has to learn to make decisions, and then learn from whatever mistakes that she made. So I find that in all, she has turned out to be quite confident, and seriously, I'm very happy with her being there, and she has now become a more courageous person, I would say. More daring to venture into the unknown.
He has become a very determined individual in terms of achieving certain levels of performance. So I feel that the tertiary education for Fikri has been pretty much a catalyst to shaping his ambition even more, like what he seeks to accomplish, and he has discovered himself even more by being away. Yeah, because I guess he has more time to relook. So he speaks to me about his plans and dreams quite a bit. Yeah, he goes and speaks about entrepreneurship and different business ideas and the growth of the different areas of the IT world, about blockchain, about all those kind of stuff, which I hardly understand all the details, but yeah, we do have good conversations, and I noticed through those conversations that he has done a great deal of thinking on his own to see what he wants to explore. Yeah,
I guess apart from academic skill, which is what the university offer, I guess the whole experience teach them to learn alive. I would say my sons left as teenager and came back as young adult. You can see that they become more mature. They learn a life. They learn a balanced life. They have a more balanced worldview, and they learn the importance of responsibility and commitment.
I think the combination of subjects, units that he's been advised to do with specific goals in mind has come up with a good package which would enable him to explore the different facets of a particular discipline. But having said that, he also supplemented his courses with a great deal of breadth units and management and business, which is what he's interested in. So having this combination is very powerful when you have the technical background, plus you also have that know-how into exploring business or even taking up a role in the corporate world. So going up the management line.
Well, I guess it has prepared them well, judging from the career opportunity that has been available to them. They were both offered jobs very early after they graduated. John got his offer on the day he arrived in Singapore from Boston Consulting Group, and James got a number of offers even before he left Melbourne. So I guess how the professional people look at Melbourne University is obviously quite favorable. I don't hope for too much, but I guess I just hope that they become good men and good lady, and achieve a balanced life with their family. I think that's very important, and with a great sense of responsibility and commitment towards the society they live in, towards their own family, and more importantly, is towards themselves personally. So if they can achieve that, I will be very happy.
Well, I keep having this word confident, but what I meant to say is that she will also find a purpose after having gone through that 1 year or 2 years in Melbourne U, that she will be able to find a purpose, to know how she can contribute to the community that she's going to be in, whether it be in Singapore or in Melbourne, and wherever she is in, how she can make life more fulfilling, to have that satisfaction, not just because she has a job or anything, but to be able to have a sense of what the university has prepared her for, that she would be able to put whatever she's learned, the soft skills, into practice in real working adult life. And I think the whole experience of studying overseas has made her a more thinking person, and more aware of what is the possible future going to be, and how she can confidently face some of the unknown things in future. Yeah.
I guess it depends on what they are looking for. If they are looking for the same thing that we are looking for, then definitely Melbourne University will always be one of their top choices to consider, because it has a good mix of the three qualities that we look for. The quality of education, the locality, and as well as the people that you live with for as long as you study there. Yes, if for families who are looking for the kind of thing, I would think that Melbourne U would be one of the top choices.
Okay. Yes, I would definitely recommend parents to seriously consider Melbourne U as number one.
Of course, I would recommend Mel U to any parent. In fact, some of my friends, it's to start off with, they say they are the top uni, and I think they are pretty right of that. Melbourne U it's really the place that any parent should think of sending the kids to study in Australia, particularly in Melbourne.
And I would would say that Melbourne U so far is still ahead in a lot of ways in terms of the flexibility of exploring other disciplines and areas, and a suite of subjects to choose from, and you can mix and match and not just be confined to the typical subjects within one discipline. But now they have all these breadth courses and electives, and then the core courses. So when they divide the subjects like that, it gives the students the flexibility to explore different areas of interest, because sometimes at that very young age, it's very difficult for them to identify what exactly they want to do.
Oh, okay. This would be advice that I gave myself that I think I would recommend to parents that be brave, because when I was nervous about a few things, I think when we are nervous and apprehensive, our kids get that. So my advice would be brave, and then so that our kids can learn to be brave, from all the experience they have to go through themselves.
As to what would be the process for them to in making that decision for the children, I guess the first thing that they have to be aware is to know your own children. You have to list down the goals and the priorities. What do you actually want from overseas education? Then you stay focused on those criteria, and you will be able to come out with your final choice.
Do not develop such a long-term plan in terms of the 3 years. You don't have to set all the subjects and the entire pathway right at the beginning of your study, simply because things change continuously, and the university is quite fast at adapting and adjusting the courses. So you don't want to fix the child's mind into doing exactly just one pathway, and to instead develop a tunnel vision. That's not good. So keep an open mind, have an idea of what are the possibilities, and then decide along the way as you go along. But definitely Melbourne U is still my number one.